The woman suddenly noticed her neighbor frantically moving out. She approached to understand the situation. Unexpectedly, when the neighbor saw them, he turned and ran like he had seen a monster. The woman came to the street and discovered that except for their family of 3, everyone in the town was panicking and fleeing outward. It seemed like something terrible was about to happen. They had no time to think, packed their belongings, and left the town together. Driving halfway, they were surprised to find many people returning to the town. This road was the only path to leave. It wasn't until they saw the front completely blocked that they discovered a group of fully armed military had already sealed off the road and was forcibly driving everyone back. No one had ever seen such a scene before, so they had to follow the government's arrangements. At this moment, a huge boulder rolled down the slope. They looked up toward the mountaintop and felt the entire mountain was violently shaking, as if a herd of wild beasts was about to charge down the slope. Suddenly, 2 fighter jets roared overhead, heading straight toward the town. Then they dropped several incendiary bombs. Countless homes were swallowed by the sea of fire in an instant. What was worse, the 2 fighter jets flew toward them. The panicked crowd began fleeing in all directions. At this moment, Jane suddenly saw an abandoned school on the slope. She knew there was a very hidden underground shelter there, so she desperately ran up the mountain. After running just a few steps, an explosion occurred behind her. The place where she had just been standing became a sea of fire. At this moment, she found the entrance to the shelter. The 2 fighter jets also flew over. Fortunately, Jack opened the door in time and they hid inside. They waited for a long time and felt there was no more movement outside. Staying in the shelter was now the safest option. Jack checked for supplies in the shelter and found plenty of food and daily necessities. Just like this, they survived underground for a whole year. After the military left, a group of unknown creatures appeared outside, so Jack, to protect his family, locked the entrance tightly with chains. Until this day, Jane discovered that their remaining food had been eaten by rats. If this continued, it wouldn't last much longer. Only by eliminating the rats could they preserve the food. But the fleeing rats knocked over the kerosene lamp, causing an explosion. The smoke from the burning would soon cause suffocation. In this cramped space, Jack finally managed to extinguish the fire. But their daughter discovered something even more terrifying. The smoke was drifting outside through the ventilation ducts. If the monsters saw it, their location would be completely exposed. They had no choice but to climb outside to block the ventilation opening. Shortly after they left, their daughter saw through the periscope several things charging out from the forest. Seeing danger approaching her parents, the daughter desperately shouted loudly, but they couldn't hear their daughter's voice at all. The girl had no choice but to go save her parents. When she came out, it was already too late. Her parents had already disappeared without a trace.